On the Flying Target podcast today, we move to an art form that is underappreciated in the sporting target world, especially in sporting clays. And those are the guys who set the targets. And South Africa's premier target setter, Deon Steyn, joins us on the podcast today. Deon, thank you very much for making time.
André, big compliment. Anyway, thanks.
It doesn't take compliments well, Deon. But the reason that I say that is you have made a point of, definitely in the last 10 years, I'd say you are definitely the most traveled shooter in South Africa. You've been to many overseas competitions, Europe, to the States. And every time you come back, you bring back some ideas, some things you saw, some things you liked. And I think that's what makes you one of the most interesting target setters in the country.
Yeah, we've had to learn the hard way. We're a little bit isolated from the rest of the world down here, southern tip of Africa. It's a big effort for us to get anywhere. So we try and steal with our eyes whilst we're there, whilst we see what the real proper range setters are doing, and you learn and you see how they try and catch you, and you see how they present the targets, that it's nice to look at, nice to shoot at, and if you break them, it'll even better. So yeah, I've learned the hard way. I've had to sort it out myself, but I've learned a lot. I've been to, I think, 10 Compact World Championships now, and 2 of them were in South Africa. And I've been to 3 FITAS World Champs. And I was just blown away by, what they do and what they're capable of doing, so that we can have fun,
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, it comes down to you now to set the targets for this year's Beretta Cup, which is the culmination of our compact season. Compact sporting in South Africa, the most popular of all of the disciplines. And this is kind of the big year-end wrap-up. Now, I know that you have been planning these ranges almost since last year. I think since you knew you were getting the shoot. Am I right?
Yeah. We host the compact trial every year at our club, Maccauw Clay Target Club in Bloemfontein. And every year you try and do something that's a little different, so that when the shooters come, there's new ranges, new targets, new backgrounds, and so I keep record of everything I've done. I physically design the ranges. I actually print it out on Google Earth to scale, and I physically sit and think about what machines I have, what I can do where, what we can do that we don't have duplication of targets. So yeah, I've been planning it since we knew that Beretta Gold Cup was coming to our club, because every year it's at a different club. And yeah, we've been planning, and you were here last weekend. We've started setting out new ranges and cutting open and removing trees and bush clearing, and so it's looking nice, and it gives you so much more option to set nice targets. So yeah, I'll be ready. We're ready. 2 weeks time, we're ready.
Good shooters are a dime a dozen. Good range setters, you can probably count on your one hand. Now, with that in mind, do you think your daytime job feeds into this love of setting targets and space and things? You're a developer. You build things. You see space differently than most people. Do you think the two work hand in hand, or is it just, am I clutching at straws?
Yeah, it could be. I've never thought about it that way, but I'm a quantity surveyor by trade, so it's pretty the bookkeeper of construction projects and project management. But you tend to see things 3-dimensionally, and I can appreciate space, I think, quite nicely. So and that helps. I can. The big thing, André, is you need to know what your traps are capable of. You must know what you have. You must know what they can do, to give you the sight picture that you want to create for the shooters. And our clubs are not big, so we don't have hundreds of clay traps lying around that we can play with. So we've got a set number of machines, and we have to use them and use them wisely. But yeah, I think my construction background gives you an idea of awareness of volume and space and distance and angle, because that's what I like to play with, the speed and angle.
So with that in mind, let's sell the Beretta Cup. Let's sell the targets here, because Every time we got to a range, we shot an English sporting competition at the club. But every time we got to a range where there was going to be a compact range, you were showing me stuff. And you said to me, you're so excited for this. What can the shooters in South Africa for the Beretta Cup look forward to?
Look, the challenge in our country is our shooting fraternity is incredibly small. So we don't have hundreds of clay target shooters. So we have to try and keep growing the sport whilst we actually make it competitive for the top guys. So because we've got ABC class and then an open class. So we try and keep a balance so that the B and C class shooter will not be demoralized with what you do and what you throw, but you're also challenging the top guys that they must work for their perfect score. So we because of the compact setup, you've got our three ranges that are 3 singles and on report. Those we tend to maybe toughen up a bit because you've got your second barrel on 3 of the 5 targets in every pad. So those we tend to make a little tougher. The Simpe range, we try and give a little bit more air time so that shooters can, have easy 2 shots at a target. Not the targets will be easy, but they'll be able to take 2 shots at a target easily. And so you try and keep that balance. And that's what I think we've learned over the last 10 years that we've been setting targets here at our club. We tend to read the room when it comes to who's coming and what we can do, so that we can keep growing the sport whilst keeping the top guys also entertained.
Going to be a fantastic weekend. Tell me, what extras can some of the South African shooters expect? I know you guys have been planning some after hours things. I know you've got some spotlights up. Will there be a night shoot?
Yeah, so we've spent quite a bit of money on our range in terms of landscaping and creating berms for safety and interesting positions, especially in fleet task and English sporting. And we've also invested in some spotlights. So we've got a skeet and a trap range under lights and a full compact or sporting range under lights. And the night shoots at Maccauw has become legendary. And the guys have so much fun. We do like almost like a pool shoot or snooker shoot kind of setup, very similar to what they do in the States. But it's going to be lots of fun, lots of entertainment, music, and then the Beretta people have come to the party, and they're bringing a lot of guns on demo, and they're going to really put up a good show. And I hope our range and our targets can do them justice. I think we will.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic shoot. We look forward to coming to Maccauw Clay Target Club for our 2025 year-end wrap-up, the Beretta Cup at Maccauw. Thanks for your time, Deon.
Thanks, André. Thanks, bud.